TLDR, my dad died from cancer in February, and he was a rapist and a pedophile. So there's all your context. I don't even drink, and I feel like I need a fucking drink right now. I have water today. Yeah, it's been a day. I can't even begin to like talk about how stupid people are, and also at the same time, why do my like shit posts, why do my shit posts like always go out of the sphere into this like area of, you know, the Twitter sphere that is, it just shouldn't be there. Like I don't understand why this is like the 4th time this has happened where I made a shit post and the shit goes viral. For those that aren't understanding what the fuck I'm talking about and are like somewhat confused, I went viral on Twitter today, and that led to a lot of you know, speculation and stupidity. Like, I'm not even joking, chat. I wish I was joking. Like, I'm literally in the news today, right here. This is for me. So let's read out what Grok came up with, what's going on here. VTuber's text exchange with dying dad sparks family priorities debate. On February 15th, 2026, Whooith texted her father. That's actually inaccurate. He texted me, who was starting chemo and had been given a time frame. She was streaming and said she'd call in 2 hours after her stream. He passed away 6 days later, and our sarcastic, well, like even Grok like could tell that I was being sarcastic about the exchange. Shared a counter critic has drawn backlash for seeming heartless, while she defends it by noting their rocky relation and later at reconciliation. Critics call prioritizing streaming gross, but supporters highlight that family ties aren't always simple, especially with estrangement. The exchange raises raw questions about work-life balance for streamers and messiness of grief. I just started the stream, donkey, you fucking idiot. Like it's not really that hard to like understand that I just started my stream. Of course, I only have 8 viewers, you fucking idiot. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have like 30,000 bots like you know, your Roach King there, so. You know, most people actually work for our viewers and have communities that care about us, and not some fucking, you know, throwing money at some website. Dumbass. Anyway, so this is what the thing that happened. It's funny that even Grok like was able to tell I was being sarcastic. Whose ass you cooked this time? Apparently myself. So let's go into like the actual history of this tweet. Made this post right here. It's just a stupid shit post that I made. I'm pretty sure most of you've seen this because I posted on YouTube yesterday. So it's just like, you know, woke mind virus. I was just joking around, whatever. And this person chimes in saying 100% this is an ugly girl with major daddy issues. I found this comment very funny because I know this person's transphobic, so it's like, yay, affirmation, woo. Which isn't like whatever. Harmless little quote tweet that I just said. I was just like, this is obviously very highly sarcastic. Yeah, about that. I was implying, hey, yeah, I do have daddy issues, sorry. I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie about it. He died from cancer. Like I don't understand how like this was hard to understand. And then he said, even if that's true, you didn't have a good relationship regardless. And I was like, you know what? I should just like keep this rolling, because it's like really funny how this random Twitter user is like prying into my personal life. And you know how I am. Like, I think most of you understand, like, I'm a brat. I just like doing stupid shit. And like if someone's like asking me very personal questions, I usually get like very graphic very fast, because like, why the fuck are you like digging into my life? Why would you be like sitting there asking questions like this unless you want the personal information, you know? Like, I think most of you guys understand my humor, and you understand why I do stupid shit like this. So I literally dug out the message I sent to my dad, because he messaged me during my stream. And I'm gonna like give you some backstory. My dad, I already knew he was gonna die. I made up with my dad in January, and that's gonna be like a complicated part of the I'm gonna talk about. But yeah, I made up with him in January, and that was only partially because my sibling decided to forgive him, and also he apologized to me personally. But we'll get deeper into that. There's gonna be a lot of personal stuff in this. I'm just gonna yap about it. I'll make a video about it, and then I'm gonna move on, you know? So he died 6 days later. Would you like some more personal info about my life? And perhaps the last time I had an orgasm? I'm like being a smart ass, obviously. I'm a pretty open book. I think anyone who knows me like can tell I'm just being very sarcastic as fuck, and basically making a shit post about someone prying into my personal life, right? Like, I think almost anyone can understand like where I was coming from here. Yeah, he said chemo started yesterday. How you feeling so far? So far, not bad. So at this point, I already knew he was gonna die. We hadn't been given the time frame, whether it was gonna be like, you know, 3 days, 6 months, a year, whatever. Like there was no time frame. So I know he was dying. I knew he had cancer. I knew he had started chemo, obviously, because I asked him about it. And I just like, it was during stream, and I asked if he wanted me to call him right there and then, and he said, just call when you have time. So to me, knowing how I go about things and like how I don't want to hyper obsess over things, I just finished my stream and then I called him. The thing is like people are saying that this is heartless because my father was trying to get a hold of me and tell me how long he had to live. But it's like, first of all, you don't know our relationship. Like that's the number one problem. Our relationship is very complicated, and most people, I don't really want to, like, I'm going to get into all of it, but that's only because, like, again, I'm a very open book. So, but yeah, I did contact him afterwards. We talked for a little bit. I called him the next day, and the next day, that's when I found the cassette tape, because my dad used to be a country singer, and we found his cassette tape of like one of his old live plays where he was like on stage and shit. And we found that, and I digitized it for my sister's wedding, like my half sister. So, and that was like all the stuff that he wanted done before he died. So at this time, on Wednesday, which was 3 days later, it was on the 18th, at this moment, I was basically just preparing to digitize this stuff and had no idea he was going to pass away a few days later. I was told that he had 6 months to live, which, sure, that's like a little upsetting, but it's only because, you know, it's very sudden. So I made plans. I think I've mentioned to like a few of the chatters and people in my community that I took off time at the end of March because we were going to go out there and like see him one last time, because I saw him in January, but we were going to go see him like one last time because, you know, he's going to pass away. So we made those plans at the end of March, but he passed away 3 days later. So after he passed away, we made plans to go see his memorial, which was only last week, but I decided not to go. Again, these people don't understand the concept of, you know, my relationship with my dad, and it's not their business, but I don't really care about talking about it because it's like, it's whatever. It's not important to me that I want to like hold it to myself or whatever. Firstly, I make shit posts like this all the time. The fact that this like went to this level right here, you know, fucking, it's trending. It's got almost 9 million views. Obviously, I'm not going to expect that because it's just a shit post. I'm just making a shit post about my dad, which most people don't understand. I didn't really have a good relationship with my dad because, sure, yeah, he made up with me. He apologized to me. He told me I'm his daughter and he loved me and stuff, but I couldn't really like reciprocate that stuff because he was never there. I was born in 1990 and I had only lived with my dad for 1 year the entire time I was growing up. And besides that, he avoided me at all costs. He avoided any responsibility of like getting to know me. In 2008, when I moved in my own apartment and, you know, started my own life, he wasn't there. Like, he wasn't there, like, at all. He had 20 years. He had fucking 20 years to try to like reach out to me and be part of my life and, you know, try to have a relationship with his grandkids, and he never bothered. So like, I don't have a relationship with him. Like, why would I bother? Like, it's cool that, sure, he tried at the end, but it's also selfish. He decided that in the end of his life was a good time to finally try to reconcile, but that's too late. Like, that's too late. Like, why would I like take all the time out of my busy schedule to sit there and hear something I already know? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to like expect me to drop everything I'm doing to go listen to something that I already know is gonna happen anyway. Like, sure, yeah, he died a few days later, which was unexpected. The grief that I felt on it and like remembering him was all related to my own grief. It's basically, I was grieving a childhood and a family I never had. I grew up in a very, very abusive household. Basically, I wasn't allowed to express any type of femininity or anything besides heteronormity, or I would get called like the F slur and my ass beat and shit like that. And I was also sexually abused. So like, I had an awful childhood, and the fact that my my biological father was never around, like didn't help that. And then in my 20s, that's when I found out that he sexually abused my sibling before I was even born. Like, and that's the reason why he was running his entire life, is because he was running away from that, what he did. My sibling like forgave him for what he did, but I never really forgave him, to the point that when he reconciled in January, my eldest was told like what he did to, you know, my sibling. And when I asked my oldest if they wanted a relationship with my dad, with like their grandfather, they told me no, because why would they want a relationship with someone who was never there for me and also had sexually abused, you know, one of their parental figures, which is my sibling. So like, it's not really that complicated. It's crazy to me that people are like, they're getting mad about something they don't understand. They don't understand like context of anything. It was a stupid shit post, and they sit there and they try to like guess like what's going on. They guess what's going, like what I'm doing, or like what's happening, or what happened, or like stuff like that. And then they get mad that I give the context, because I gave the context because I was like, what the fuck are people talking about? Like obsessing over shit you don't understand. So I gave the context, and and then they got mad that I gave the context, and they were like, oh, well, you're just engagement farming off of the fact your father sexually abused your sibling. And it's like, what? And after a while, I just got tired of it, so I started joking about engagement farming, because like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? It doesn't matter what I say. I can give them, you know, the proper response and the well-articulated response, but at the end of the day, they're just gonna be mad. They don't care. They don't care about what I'm saying. They don't give a fuck. I grew up without my dad. I had a very abusive stepdad, and my dad basically made up with me. He told me the reason why he never came around was because my stepdad wouldn't allow him near his kids because of what he did to my sibling. But the thing is he had 20 years to make up for that, and he still never bothered. He didn't give a shit. Why would I care about someone who didn't give a shit about me? Yeah, they created their own story in their minds. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, why would I like good faith continue? I'd rather just like be a shit poster. That's what I do. But obviously don't do it, chat. If you ever have like something pop off, never joke about making money off of it, because they get so mad about that. And then, you know, I got a community note for a little bit because someone took what I took way too seriously. And it's like, I think anyone who knows me knows I was being sarcastic, and I don't really care. I'm not even monetized, chat. I wish I was joking about this, but ineligible. I don't have enough followers. Like, I'm not monetized. Like, anyone should be able to understand like what's going on here. Just doing it for the love of the game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I grew up with a very abusive stepdad, and my mom was there, but she was too scared to be alone, so she never like left my stepdad, despite the fact that he beat the shit out of all of us. And my stepdad died in 2023, and I was fucking so happy. I was so happy to hear that motherfucker passed away, because he made my life a living hell. I think if I had stayed in the, you know, our house at the time, like when I was 18, if I had continued staying at home, I probably would have ended up in jail, because I probably would have killed him, because that's how far I had gotten pushed over and over and over again. Yeah, again, he used that excuse of why he never reached out, because he wanted to, like, he couldn't, like, you know, come around, because every time he tried to come around, then, you know, my stepdad would find a reason to leave so he couldn't get to see his kids. But that doesn't explain the other 20 years. Yeah, like where'd the other 20 years go? He could have reached out. He could have tried to have a relationship with me. And then when I finally came out, he acted supportive. He acted so supportive when I came out. He's like, oh my God, I'm always gonna love you. You're always gonna be my kid and stuff, like blah, blah, blah. And then 6 months later, I found out he was basically talking bad shit about me to like his church group or something. And I cut contact with him for 3 years. Like, why would I want to associate with someone who doesn't give a fuck about me? My sibling forgave him for what he did, but I never really did. And again, that's really reflective of when we asked our eldest if they wanted to have a relationship with him. before he passed away, and they didn't want to, which caused, our youngest to also not want to, because why? They don't know this person, and from their perspective, it's a very bad person, so why would they bother? I made up with him in January. It was on a whim, actually. I decided to go visit him when he was in town. He was a semi-truck driver, so yeah, he used to be a country singer, but he was a semi-truck driver, and I went on a whim just to go see him, and because I heard he had cancer, and I was like, I might as well see him, because like I think this will be the last time I get to see him. I went with my sibling, and then he apologized to me for the way he treated me and like not being there and stuff, and it's like, it doesn't matter, the damage is done. Like you can't make up for 25 years, if not more. I'm 35, chat. I'm almost 36. Like you can't make up for that. You can't make up for not being there for 36 years. And then 20 of the years I was fully available to have a relationship. So yeah, that's pretty much like the backstory, but I don't give a shit. I find it so funny that people wanted that context, and like they were like, how horrible for you not to like drop everything you're doing to go talk to your dad, who's obviously gonna die like in this instant, because you didn't, you decided to stream instead of call back. And then I called him like every day after that until he died. How selfish of me. I don't know. I feel like if someone's not in your life for 25, 30 years, and they suddenly pop up right at the end of their life when they're about to die, and they expect forgiveness, I kind of feel like that's selfish. I feel like that's something selfish people would do. TLDR, my dad died from cancer in February, and he was a rapist and a pedophile, so whatever. There's all your context. I'm pretty irritated that I just can't make a fucking shit post without everyone taking it seriously, and then, sending me dick pics. Yeah, I got sent like 5 dick pics. I'm not upset about people bringing up my dad. I don't care. I'm upset that people are stupid and, waffles and pancakes and no correlation and all those other memes. I will mention that, the Roach King did talk about me for like fucking 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes straight, by the way, ranting about how I'm engagement farming and how I'm using my dead dad for engagement, even though, I'm gonna be like completely serious. I'll give him that one. He can rant about it, because I did, kind of imply about, I'll give him that one. He's not mad. Oh yeah, he's fucking furious. But that was the gist of what was going on. Essentially, I didn't really care about my dad dying. It was more about like my own grief from not having a good childhood. And of course they're gonna be like, oh well, that's why you're trans, is because you had daddy issues, or you had mommy issues, or you got abused as a kid, or some other stupid shit. I didn't really love him or like him. He was there, and I was only upset because he could have been a good person. He could have like prioritized having a relationship with me and my siblings, but instead he chose to run from his problems and not fess up for them until I was like fucking 25. At the end of the day though, he was still a pedophile, and that's something that he'll never get to redeem. Sure, my sibling might have forgiven him, but he's a Christian, so I'm pretty sure whatever they believe in is probably gonna be pretty bad for him. Because after all, the fact that he waited until he was about to die to finally be like, oh, I probably should make up with my kids, was oh my god. And I'm selfish for not responding to his text message when I just called him after my stream. I don't know, I didn't think it was that complicated, that it was a shit post and I was being facetious and basically implying, hey, why the fuck are you prying into my personal life? Like, here's some oversharing, since you're so interested in what I'm doing and like what my life is like. It's just a crazy post to get fucking viral for. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter, like those soft, friendly words that I got from my dad at the end was like, he's like, I never thought you would be so beautiful, and you're always gonna be my daughter and stuff like that. Like those words don't matter because you waited too long. And I just don't understand how people don't understand that not everyone has a perfect relationship, and as humans we are unfortunately not perfect, so shit happens. And I'm glad, Like, I'm happy that I managed to like reconcile with him, just because I know that some part of me would have regretted like at least not hearing him out. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Yeah, I think it's a common problem that a lot of people would face, that, you know, doing awful things their entire life, and then at the end they're all like, oh, I'm so sorry, this was all me, this is my fault, you're perfect as you are, I love you, I'll always love you, and then they go and die. And that's gonna change like the fucking 20-30 years of not being there or abuse.
Pink and she's glowing, her hair stays flowing, and she drops hot takes like she just don't care. Your precious lady is about to arrive. Wouldn't advise getting on her bad side. Don't know if she has talent, but she just might. Everybody questioning who the best druid around is. Like, who is? It's the pretty pink icon. Whooith.